Hey everyone, happy new comic book day. My name is Greg, John's the man behind the camera, and as always, we are here at Midtown Comics Times Square to give you a look at this week's new releases. So we're going to get right to it. Up first, we have Dark Horse, The Return of American Gods. I've been hearing a lot of great things about the show. I believe it's on Stars. Still has Neil Gaiman, P. Craig Russell. Then from also Dark Horse, we have Dead Inside from John Arcudi, very talented writer. Love his work on Rumble. And then we get right into DC. There's a lot going on at DC. A lot of great stuff. We have a new chapter of Aquaman. If you're interested in the character because of the DC Extended Universe, you think Jason Momoa looks really cool as a character, you need to be reading this. And also, part one of a new story. And then we have Batman. A brand new story starts here as well with Tom King and Mitch Gerads. We have Batman and Swamp Thing. It's called The Brave and the Mold. I know Tom King has been talking about this one for a while. Great title. And if you have Injustice 2, Mitch tweeted the other day that while you're waiting for this comic, you can have them fight in Injustice 2. Obviously been addicted to that game as well. And then we have a brand new chapter of Batwoman number 3. You can bet this will be Rebecca's first read this week. She's been loving this series. And then we also have a new chapter of Harley Quinn. It's issue 20. Let's take a look at both of the fun covers. And then we have issue 21 from Nightwing featuring Wally West on the cover. And we also have over at DC's Young Animal, Cave Carson has a cybernetic eye, number 8. Then over at DC's Bombshells, we have issue 27. Then we get to one of the biggest releases today, The Flash 22, which is the conclusion of The Button. We have this awesome lenticular cover by Jason Fabok. Double dose of Jay Garrick there. This is the conclusion of The Button and lays the groundwork, or at least a teaser, for the future of the DC universe. So if you like DC, you like Rebirth, The Button is mandatory reading. Check it out. And by the way, that is by Joshua Williamson and Howard Porter. And then we go to one of my favorite DC titles, Green Arrow. This has been a great run. Ben Percy is doing an outstanding job, and Juan Ferreira's artwork is incredible. If you like the show, any interest in the character, mandatory reading. There's also Green Lanterns, issue 23, featuring Jessica Cruz on the cover. Let me give you a look at the other cover as well. They are finally with other Green Lanterns. So it's interesting to see their dynamic and how they're interacting with them. And then we have Injustice 2, number 2. Tom Taylor's back to writing this series, and it is so good. There's a nice mystery about who this Batman is. I thought it would be Jason Todd, but I'm not so sure anymore. So maybe if you're reading this in the comments, share who you think it could be. And then speaking of Tom Taylor, Justice League and the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers number 4. He's working on this with Steve Byrne. It's a very, very fun and animated crossover. Then we also have Justice League number 21, 2 covers right here. And one of my other favorite DC titles, actually 2 in a row right here, Super Sons number 4 and Superman number 23, both written by Peter J. Tomasi. Pat Gleason also works on the story on this one. And then over here we have artwork by Jorge Jimenez for Super Sons. And over in Superman, it's, I think Doug Mankey is illustrating this one, but we have an awesome Jorge Jimenez cover right there. And I strongly recommend both titles. Then we get over into Teen Titans, also written by Ben Percy. This is another chapter of the Lazarus Contract. If you're familiar with Deathstroke in his first appearance, this is a follow-up to it. I don't want to give anything else away, but we have a Phil Jimenez cover right here. Let me show you the other cover as well. So any interest in Deathstroke, the Teen Titans, or the Titans, you should be reading this. We're only on the second chapter, so it's very easy to go back and pick up the first one, which I believe was in the regular Titans ongoing. Then we have Trinity number 9. I believe that's covered by Bill Sienkiewicz. I'm not 100% sure, though. Definitely looks like his style. And then before we get into the Wildstorm, let's take a look at some new collections from DC and Dark Horse. We have The Flash Volume 2. John, I know you've been loving this series.
I have.
And then we also have the classic Mike Grell recollected. Volume 8 now, The Hunt for the Red Dragon. We also have Supergirl, Volume 1, and Superman Wonder Woman. Which volume is this? Volume 5. Looks like a John Romita Jr. cover. There's also the George Perez Omnibus of Wonder Woman, Volume 2. Wonder Woman is it's coming out soon. And if you have not read the classic George Perez stuff, what are you waiting for? Go read it. The movie's likely, very likely, going to be loosely inspired by it, as well as some elements of New 52. And then over here, we also have a Vertigo collection Free Country, and then also Alien Covenant, behind the scenes of Ridley Scott's masterpiece. I haven't seen it yet. I can't vouch that Alien Covenant is a masterpiece, but I do love the franchise, and I am looking forward to that movie. Looks like we have 3 copies of the Wonder Woman George Perez omnibus. If you have any interest in the movie, you got to be reading the George Perez stuff. Do your homework, people. Then there's also The Wildstorm, issue 4, and Warren Ellis is writing this, by the way. And then speaking of Wonder Woman, we have The Odyssey of the Amazons, and this looks at Amazons before Wonder Woman was around. And we're at the penultimate chapter now. It's issue 5 of 6. And then double dose of Wonder Woman here. We have Wonder Woman 77, the classic live action, teaming up with the Bionic Woman. This is issue 4. That's a collaboration between DC and, I believe, Dynamite Entertainment. Then we also have from Vertigo, Astro City 44, as well as a new chapter of Lucifer. Then over at Aspen Comics, we have Bubblegum _1. And at Boom, we have Mighty Morphin Power Rangers 15. Then we have, we start getting into just a variety of publishers over here. We have Freeway Fighter, issue 1 from Titan Comics. There's also Street Fighter versus Darkstalkers, #1 from Udon. I know we've been seeing some interest in this online. So here's a look at some different covers. Okay. And then over at our friends at Valiant have released Ninjak 27. Got an action-packed, literally explosive cover right there. And then there's also Britannia. And then over at IDW Publishing, Animal Noir #4, Darkness Visible #4, a reprint of Ghostbusters 101 #1 with a new cover. I love the creative team who works on this. You need to check it out if you also enjoy the Ghostbuster movies, whether you're a fan of the new one or the classic one or even the animated show. Read the IDW stuff. There's also MASK, which is an acronym for Mobile Armored Strike Command #6. It's also the 2nd issue of Night Owl Society, as well as Real Science Adventurers, 2nd issue over there as well. It's also Revolutionaries #4, ROM #10, and Satellite Falling #5. We also have a few new collections above here. And we are now very lucky to be in the presence of the mighty Victor Melendez. How's it going, man?
Greg Katzman. Oh, man. Guys.
How are you?
I'm doing well. Not too bad.
So what do you recommend?
You were just about to show off a few trades. Definitely Bill and Ted Go to Hell. I read the series. It's a sequel to the previous one that Boom put out, Bill and Ted's Most Triumphant Return. And it's just, if you're a fan of the movies, if you grew up watching the Channel 11 weekend Saturday afternoon movie, they would always show 1 and 2 together. I've been fans of this movie for years. The artwork is pretty much just Boom Studios. I know have like a lot of really great artists on over there, so this book is just great. And essentially, it's a sequel to the 2nd film because as you can see, they're back in hell. And it also features a lot of characters, from the past films. Also, Bill and Ted Go to Hell was the original title for the 2nd movie, and they just changed it to Bogus Journey because they thought people would be scared to take their kids to go see this. Little did they know. Anyway, also, Triggerman from Titan Comics' hard print, hard case crime, which is more of like their noir, their crime stories. Triggerman is from artist Matz and Walter Hill. If any of you guys know Walter Hill, the guy co-wrote, produced Alien, has done tons of action movies throughout the 80s and 90s, is known for just being a hard-boiled type of guy. He's done westerns, he's done crime movies, he's done it all. So this, oh, absolutely, definitely, yeah. The artwork is actually pretty gorgeous. So it definitely takes place 1930s, 1920s during the height of like the whole gangster problem in Chicago. Prohibition, the works. I mean, if you're a fan of that era, Al Capone, The Untouchables, I would highly recommend this series. It's pretty much a 1 and done, so you don't have to worry about that it'll be like a new volume or another series. This pretty much sets it all up right here.
What's the price on that collection?
This one we're selling $19.99, guys. I would definitely recommend this. This, Bill and Ted Go to Hell. 2 series that I do love and I've read. The Max, if you guys are big fans of Sam Keith, IDW has been reprinting the Max for the better part of like about a few years now, and the artwork just looks better than it ever really did when it first came out. They've retouched the colors, they've added a lot of new pages. It's just I love that series. As well as Jim Mahfood has a new series, guys.
Girl Scouts, right?
Girl Scouts, his first creator-owned series in a very long time, and he's bringing back Girl Scouts. If you guys were fans of his stuff way back when, there's no reason why you won't enjoy this now.
I like what you need to know in the beginning there.
Pretty much, yeah. That's just all you really need to know. And then you could just jump right into this series and enjoy the crazy psychedelic world that he has created. I'm very much looking forward to reading this and going back and read any of the old stuff that I can find.
Very cool.
Okay. Yeah. Also, there is a reprinting of Spawn #1 for the 25th anniversary. Spawn's been with us 25 years. Can you believe that? I've been a fan of that character for years, pretty much since I realized what comics were. So I'm definitely picking that up. It's really interesting because it's full with commentary from Tom McFarlane. So he'll go by page, panel by panel, giving you insight to his thought process and pretty much how a comic came together. If you're interested in ever doing your own comics and writing or drawing, it's a good little insight into a person that's been doing it for more than 20 years. So I definitely would recommend that pickup this week.
Very cool. Vic, thank you very much.
You got it, guys.
All right, let's take a look at some other. There's a few more IDW publishing releases, and then we get into Image, and we'll have a second look once again at the picks and the picks that Vic recommended. We have IDW is doing a lot with Star Trek over here. We have Star Trek: The Next Generation #1. We also have the X-Files Funko Universe. I want to believe they're adorable. They are. IDW Publishing has been doing Funko Universe issues. They did one with Ninja Turtles recently. I don't recall who else, but still. Ghostbusters, thank you. Yeah, they're just adorable. And then we get into Image Comics. There's a new chapter of Birthright from the writer of The Flash, Joshua Williamson. It's issue 22. There's also Curse Words, issue 5 from friend of the store, Charles Sewell, as well as Ryan Brown. This has been a very good series. So if you're looking for something new to check out, we of course recommend Curse Words. There's also Eclipse #7 from Image and Top Cow. There's also The Few. I can't see which. Oh, it's issue #5. Excuse me. Pretty cool Spawn variant there. There's also God Country #5. Now the writer of this, Donny Cates, he is actually working on an Aftershock series, Baby Teeth, and we recently revealed our Midtown Comics exclusive variant for that. So if you want to take a look at the exclusive variant for Baby Teeth #1, check out our Twitter, or you're watching on Facebook right now. So once you're done watching, hopefully at the very end, you'll watch until the end, please and thank you. After you're done with that, scroll down and you will see the exclusive cover. So check that out. So we left off at God Country #5. There's a Spawn variant number there. Vic was giving a lot of love to Girl Scouts Magic Socks #1. Also got a Spawn variant on display there. There's also Horizon 11 Invincible is still going on strong. We're at part 4 of 12 for the end of all things. And then there is also Low from a little writer known as Rick Remender. I'm sure a lot of people remember his Marvel work as well as Deadly Class, plenty of other great stuff. There's also Rose from Meredith Finch. Yes, she is I believe she's married to David Finch. I'm not sure if they're technically married. They are? Yeah. Just wanted to play it safe there with that. So they have the second issue of that now. And then Jeff Lemire's Royal City. We're now on issue 3. That caught up quickly. I feel like that was new only yesterday. Now we're on issue 3.
Isn't this Ultimate Spider-Man?
What?
Oh, man. How could they? No, that's awesome. I love that cover.
Yeah, it's a very cool cover. Especially this one's great. This is issue 273. And as Vic was saying here, reprint right here. But it's not just a reprint of the first issue. It's also packed with extras. Oh, yeah. So if you're interested in creating comics, let's take a look at the back here. So there's an opening with commentary. So as you can see, there's the whole process of creating the comic. So if you are interested in creating comics, this would be hugely beneficial. Alright, don't want to show off the whole thing. But yeah, they didn't just simply reprint the first issue. They had some fun with it and made it a reprint that's definitely worth getting. And then we have the horror comic spread, issue 21. There's also The Wicked and the Divine. We're on issue... I'm drawing a blank, man. I'm drawing a blank. Regardless, Enrique wrote a great blog post a while ago about why this is such an incredible series and why it means so much to him. So if you want to check that out, just Google Wicked and Divine Midtown Comics blog. It'll definitely show up. Or you could go to blog.midtowncomics.com and scroll through a ton of posts until you find it, but it's a really good read. And then before we move on to new Marvel issues, let's take a look at new Marvel collections. We have an original graphic novel. It is the Merc with the Mouth's first original graphic novel, Deadpool, Bad Blood. It's a hardcover. Rob Liefeld returning to the character. He worked on the story. He provided the artwork. And he's joined by some other writers, I believe Chris Sims and Chad Bowers. So, Merc with a Mouth, his first original graphic novel. There's also Iron Man, Director of S.H.I.E.L.D., the complete collection. Also Spider-Man and Spider-Gwen, as well as the Amazing Spider-Man versus the Vulture, because Michael Keaton is going to be the Vulture. They decided to highlight some of their battles. You know what? Let me see if I can find one of my favorite Vulture moments in here. I'm going to flip through this for you. Vulture early on defeated Spider-Man with something called the Loop the Loop. There it is, people. The iconic Loop the Loop. Loop the Loop. He outmaneuvered Spider-Man, kicked him in the back of the head, and then dropped him in a water tank. That is the tactical brilliance of Vulture. Everyone thinks Shang-Chi is such a good fighter, but he's got nothing on the Vulture. No one can counter the Loop the Loop. So this is looking at all the Vulture's, earliest appearances and his clashes with Spider-Man. So if you are interested in the character Michael Keaton will be portraying, here's where you can see some of his earliest appearances and some other assorted appearances. Of course, the movie, it's not going to be a direct adaptation. It's only going to draw some elements, but, it's Marvel Studios and Michael Keaton. I have faith that the character will be pretty interesting. There's also a mega Amazing Spider-Man collection, as well as one from Morbius. Check that out. Now, this is collecting a ton of Amazing Spider-Man. You can see all the issues here. It also has the first appearance of the Prowler. That's pretty cool. Yeah, lots of great issues in there. And let's take a look at the back of this one as well. There we go. Oh, this is... I'm being silly. This is the same collection, just a different cover. That should have been obvious to me from the get-go. It would be weird to unleash two ginormous Amazing Spider-Man collections, but still it's kind of cool that you have two covers to choose from. And then we get into brand new Marvel issues. We'll talk to V in a little bit about that. You have USA Avengers, number 6. Daredevil, Running with the Devil, number 20. You got a Mike Deodato cover there. That looks great. It's also Deadpool versus the Punisher, number 3, written by Fred Van Lente. I'm not sure if we still have signed copies available.
Not here. In downtown we might.
Yeah, so if you do want signed copies, definitely call Downtown or Grand Central to see if they still have copies of Deadpool vs. Punisher, number 1, signed by Fred Van Lente. There's also Guardians of the Galaxy Mother Entropy, number 3, by Jim Starlin and Alan Davis. Also Invincible Iron Man, number 7. And Luke Cage, number 1. Luke Cage has a brand new series. I'm looking forward to it. It's written by David Walker, I believe, so that's pretty cool. And then we also have Monsters Unleashed, number 2. This is not a reprint of the event. The event spawned in ongoing, so we're now in the second issue of that. Cullen Bunn is still writing it. And there's also Nick Fury, number 2, as well as Powers, number 8, and The Punisher, number 12. And we get over to the Inhumans, who will soon be on ABC. You have The Royals, number 3, and Marvel's biggest release today, easily, Secret Empire, number 2. You got a Mark Brooks cover over here. And an awesome Andrea Sorrentino one right here. And also, Andrea Sorrentino, love that artist. He did the interiors. And I believe Rod Rice did some of the interiors as well, but I don't want to give that away. I am not going to flip to the end. I do not want to spoil that for you. But you can see Power Man and Iron Fist are in there. So that's cool. Actually, you know what? Before V gets too busy, let's talk to him for a moment about Secret Empire number 2. V, I asked you before we started recording, do you have any recommendations that you immediately said, Secret Empire, Secret Empire, Secret Empire? Why?
Man, this book is so well written. I can't even begin to explain how good it is. Like from the first one, from number 0, I've been on board all the way, especially with the Steve Rogers book, because again, I like the direction that they're taking. It's new and it's really sophisticatedly written also. But number 2, man, like that, it pulls no punches whatsoever. There you go. It pulls no punches whatsoever. That last, I'm pretty sure you read it already. That last panel, anyone who's upset with
Censored.
anyone who's upset,
Lip.
you're gonna be happy. You're gonna be happy. You're gonna be happy. It
Galactus eats the planet. The event is over. That's what he's saying.
No, but you know, Nick Spencer has done it yet again. Andrea Sorrentino's art is spectacular. Also, for those of you who aren't really familiar, you could check out Old Man Logan also.
Green Arrow.
And oh my God, yeah,
American Vampire. Excuse me, I Vampire.
yeah. But yeah, it's a good book. You see a lot of anyone who's looking forward to the Defenders series can get a glimpse of what that's going to be like. And you know, the Avengers are once again divided. You know, Tony and Natasha arguing as usual. You know, some tension there with Clint as well. It's just overall a great book, man. I cannot recommend this book enough.
Can you recommend it some more?
Okay, just a little bit. Just a little bit. Read it, please. It's a good time. I just can't. I can't recommend it more, man. What do you want me to say? I just can't do it. Please read this.
So giving some Secret Empire 2 some love, but anything else from Marvel that you would like to recommend? Because you're always my Marvel go-to guy. Vic's the indie dude. You guys occasionally dip into the DC pool, but I can always rely on you for Marvel. So what else has caught your eye this week?
Luke Cage is also pretty good. Luke Cage is really, really good.
David Walker, right?
Yes. We also have the hip hop cover that's a spin-off of the Method Man album, Tikal 2000. Great album, by the way. And for anyone who's missing Tony in his own book, Director of S.H.I.E.L.D., the trade paperback, I don't know if you touched upon it yet, is out. The entire arc of Director of S.H.I.E.L.D., Invisible Iron Man Director of S.H.I.E.L.D. is out, so you guys should definitely check that out as well.
V, any final words for all the people watching on Facebook Live?
Please read Secret Empire, all right? Don't.
He said please.
I did say please, all right? You don't hear that in the comment section. So check it out, guys.
All right, V, thank you very much.
Thank you, G-Reg.
You're very welcome, VEE. All right, and then we also have Unbeatable Squirrel Girl. With, this reminds me that I'm looking forward to the Wreck-It Ralph 2 movie. Really looking forward to that. But anyway, Unbeatable Squirrel Girl, number 2. It's also Star Wars Poe Dameron, also written by Charles Soule, number 15. And then we go over to the primary Star Wars book, which is on issue 31, written by Jason Aaron. And back-to-back Jason Aaron going on over here. There's the Mighty Thor, number 19. We also have Ultimates 2, number 7. Generation X, number 1. Jubilee is leading her very own X-Men team. Well, I'm not sure if they're technically a team of X-Men yet. I haven't read it, but she's leading a team of mutants. And then we also have X-Men Gold, number 4, The Return of Gambit, which obviously you could tell by that cover. So that's it for this edition of New Comic Book Day. We hope you enjoyed reading new comics. And friendly reminder that 5 Points Festival is this weekend. It's this Saturday and Sunday down at Pier 36. If you haven't gotten tickets yet, you can pick them up in store or online. And if you want a reason to go, it's going to be awesome. At our booth, we'll have 20% off collections. We're also going to have an all-star signing schedule. We will have Scott Snyder, Greg Capullo, Dan Slott, Brian Lee O'Malley, Nick Spencer, Matthew Rosenberg, Mike Hawthorne. Am I forgetting anyone, John? It's always so many names I have to list off. And yeah, I'm pretty sure that's everyone. Yeah, that's everyone. So yeah, not only will we have back-to-back signing schedules on Saturday and Sunday, friendly, please note that Scott Snyder and Dan Slott are Saturday only, but everyone else is both days. So definitely check it out. It's going to be a great time. Hopefully we'll see you there. Enjoy reading new comics and be good to each other.